Today on another edition of Turneround's Theory.
Do you remember when I said I would never talk about my personal dating life on here? I'm making a rare exception today.
Another edition of Turneround's Theory is coming your way next right here on YouTube. But you ain't gotta take my word for it. This young lady is opening her mouth by acknowledging her own volition that she is going to talk to everyone on social media publicly about her Hinge date. If you'll stick around for the latest edition of Turnaround's Theory, which is coming up next on my official YouTube channel in just 1 minute, I'm going to once again take you back to Raul, Please Act Right, and we'll watch this video how this young woman explains how her Hinge date has been ruined. But of course, you know me, I'll give you my 2 cents on it by concluding today's edition with another free theoretical thought like I always do. It's Friday, January the 30th, 2026, and fellas, once again, as I often tell you all, that y'all should often be knowing my saying, and y'all should often be knowing the drill. So why don't y'all go grab a quick snack and come on back, because y'all just might learn something. Another edition of Turnaround's Theory starts right now. Roll that intro, and let's jump right into it. I've been a musician for more than 44 years. I've been a video editor 20 years and a content creator over 10 years. I give theoretical thoughts on just about anything in general. I'm Mr. Turnaround, and this is Turnaround's Theory. What is going on, everybody? Once again, I'm your boy, Mr. Turnaround, aka Tenacious T, aka your theoretical maestro. And I want to welcome you to the latest edition of Turnaround's Theory for Friday, January the 30th, 2026, right here on YouTube. Now, as you should know, Turnaround's Theory is coming to you each and every single Monday and Friday over the exciting digital airwaves of YouTube for season number 6. And once again, Turnaround's Theory continues to become the actual platform of where I normally give the fellas just like you at home a free theoretical thought on, just about anything. Don't mind me doing this intro. It just sticks with you, boy. But damn it, I'm good. Hey, listen, for those of y'all that are just tuning in to watching another edition of Turnaround's Theory right here on my official YouTube channel, I want to personally welcome you. And if you are, in fact, a returning subscriber, I welcome you back. As a constant daily reminder, I must remind you once again to please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my official YouTube channel, because it would, in fact, help out and it would be beneficial for the YouTube algorithm. And please don't forget to smash on that post notification bell, because you, my friends, will instantly be in the loop every single time I post up and upload more additional content onto this channel. Please be sure to follow me on all social media platforms. There will be a link provided in the description box below. Now, if you also want to contribute to my YouTube channel through PayPal, which ought to be a great help, then there's also going to be a link provided in the description box below for that as well. Please don't forget to also use the hashtag #TeamTurnaround that you will see at the bottom of your screen, because that lets me know indefinitely that not only you're watching the latest edition of Turnaround's Theory, but it just goes to show that you are supporting my platform with regard to the content that I post up, and I might just send you a shout out right back. Now, I do hope and pray that I have covered everything within this particular matter, and with that being said, let's jump on over into today's edition of Turnaround's Theory here on YouTube.
Hey, this is Raul of Please Act Right, and she's about to prove why she should have kept this one to herself in this video.
When I tell you, the story I'm about to tell you, I thought only happened in movies. Like, I'm still trying to process that what happened to me actually happened to me this weekend. So I unfortunately got back on Hinge, after like a 2.5, almost 3-year hiatus from virtually all of the dating apps except for Raya here or there, but I haven't been on Hinge. I swore off Hinge.
You can't make this shit up. Now, for those that don't know what the Hinge app is, let me break it down to you and explain to you what the meaning of it is. Hinge is a mobile dating app designed to help people form relationships rather than casual connections. Unlike swipe-only apps, Hinge encourages users to engage more thoughtfully by interacting with specific parts of a person's profile, such as photos, written prompts, or voice notes. Its slogan, designed to be deleted, suggests that the goal is to help users find a meaningful relationship and eventually leave the app. The app works by allowing users to create a profile that includes personal prompts, interests, and photos. Instead of simply swiping left or right, users can like or comment on a specific response or image, which is meant to spark more intentional conversations. Once both people show interest, they can message each other and decide whether to move forward. Hinge also uses an algorithm that prioritizes compatibility, shared interest, and past engagement rather than just appearance. Features like Most Compatible attempt to pair users with people they're most likely to connect with based on behavior and preferences within the app. While Hinge promotes serious dating, the experience still depends on the user. Some people approach Hinge with genuine intentions, while others treat it like entertainment, validation, or casual conversation. As with any dating platform, success on Hinge depends on honesty, maturity, communication, and personal accountability. In short, Hinge is a modern dating tool, not a guarantee. It can introduce people, but it cannot replace discernment, boundaries, or wisdom in dating.
Primarily, that's because at the end of the day, Hinge and all dating apps are a for-profit business.
Stop the cap.
Their incentive is to keep us on there longer.
You sure about that?
Because the longer we're on there, the more we pay for it. The more we pay for it, the more frustrated we are. We keep paying for it. That's how they make their money.
Huh?
At the end of the day, Match Group has shareholders to appease. I work in business. I'm not stupid. Why would I put my love life to shareholder value?
Here is the main commentary. We're living in a time where people confuse sharing with healing. A woman goes on a Hinge date, and before the emotions even settle, the story is already online. Screenshots, play-by-plays, opinions requested from strangers who weren't there. That's not reflection, that's performance. But here's the problem. When you put your dating business in the public space, you remove the opportunity for it to grow in private. Early connections are fragile. They need space, not spectators. The man you went on the date with didn't sign up to be content. He showed up as a person, not a lesson, not a joke, not a warning post for social media. When his words and actions are shared publicly, even without his name, respect is already gone, and once respect is gone, the connection is already dead, whether you realize it or not. Another issue is this. Public opinion ruins personal discernment. Once you open the door to comments, you invite projection. People don't give advice, they give trauma. Their failed relationships become your filter. Their bitterness becomes your compass. Now, instead of asking yourself, how do I feel about this man? You're asking, what does the internet think? That's how confusion starts. Privacy is not secrecy. Privacy is wisdom. Some experiences are meant to be processed, not posted. Some disappointments are meant to teach, not trend. A woman who keeps her dating life off social media protects her peace. She moves with clarity. She doesn't need validation to decide her next step. And if something doesn't work out, it ends quietly, without embarrassment, without exposure, and without unnecessary damage.
Anyway, I ended up putting my love life to shareholder value.
You know better than that.
Primary reason my life lately has really been work, home, work, home. Something had to give.
Now there's a difference between living your life and performing your life, and somewhere along the way, social media has convinced people that every experience deserves an audience, even the one still forming. When a woman goes on a Hinge date and immediately takes that experience to the public, posting screenshots, recounting conversations, dissecting gestures, or airing disappointments, she's not just sharing a story. She's breaking the foundation of trust before anything even has a chance to grow. Dating is fragile in its early stages. It's unfinished business, and unfinished business shouldn't be broadcast. The moment a private interaction becomes public commentary, it stops being about connection and starts being about validation. Instead of asking, how did I feel? The focus shifts to, what do they think? Likes replace discernment. Comments replace wisdom. Another issue is respect. The man on that date didn't consent to being a topic. He showed up as himself, not as content, not as a lesson, not as a joke, and not as entertainment for strangers. When his words and actions are shared publicly, even anonymously, it strips him of dignity and reduces him to a storyline. And here is the deeper problem. Oversharing distorts judgment. When you invite the public into your dating life, you invite opinions from people who don't know your values, your goals, or your emotional patterns. Some will project their trauma. Others will encourage sabotage, and very few will actually help you build something healthy. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's protection. Protection of your peace, protection of the other person, protection of the possibility that something real could develop without interference. Not every date needs a recap, not every red flag needs a post, and not every disappointment needs an audience. Sometimes the most mature move is silence, processing privately, learning quietly, and moving wisely. Because when you keep your dating life sacred, you give it room to either grow naturally or end gracefully without the noise. And in a world where attention is currency, choosing privacy is power.
So I reluctantly went on a date this weekend, kind of, from Hinge, with a man that I knew wasn't really my type. I wasn't really attracted to him. I look at LinkedIn's before I look at Instagram's. All I'm gonna say is this was never really gonna work out, but YOLO. Maybe he could surprise me, as my friends like to say. Let him surprise you. I went on the date.
And I've never been so humiliated in all my life.
Okay, so here's the scenario. Let's just assume that she almost didn't go on that date. Now, when she first matched with him on Hinge, he wasn't her type. Not physically, not socially, not the kind of man she usually pictured sitting across from her. But she told herself she was trying something different. Growth meant giving people the chance, right? So when he asked her to dinner, she said yes. They met at a mid-range restaurant, nothing fancy, but nice enough to feel intentional. The conversation was polite but uneven. She carried most of it. He smiled often, nodded a lot, and spoke carefully, like someone afraid to say the wrong thing. Still, she stayed open-minded. They ordered their food. She chose something light. He ordered a full meal and a drink. The waiter took their menus and walked away. A few minutes later, he excused himself to use the restroom. She didn't think much of it. She checked her phone, scrolled, took a sip of water. 10 minutes passed, then 15. The server came back, not with food, but with a puzzled look. "Are you waiting on someone?" the server asked. That's when it hit her. She looked around the restaurant. The restroom door opened and closed, but he never came back. She sent a text. No response. Another one. Still nothing. Moments later, the server returned again, this time with the bill. Her name wasn't on it, but somehow the responsibility was. The food hadn't even arrived yet. She sat there embarrassed, confused, and quietly angry, not just at him, but at the situation. She paid the bill, gathered her things, and walked out alone. On this drive home, her thoughts raced. Was this about money? Was it insecurity? Did he feel rejected before he even tried? Or maybe he just didn't have the courage to be honest. The lesson didn't come immediately. It settled later. Not every act of giving someone a chance is rewarded, and not everyone who asks you out is prepared to show up fully. Sometimes the date tells you everything before the food ever hits the table. To sum up the scenario, I really think that this young man has really dodged the bullet from this woman, and to think that she was going to use him for a free meal. Fellas, we have to be careful when it comes to dating these women out on Hinge. It's not a dating app, it's more of a hookup.
The date lasted 15 minutes. The date lasted 15 minutes because he left me in the middle of the date.
Sensational.
So I get ready, I get dressed, I go all the way to the East Village in the city to meet a man named Les. I'll probably tag him below because what he did was actually crazy.
The audacity of this woman to tag this man because he left her hanging. In the words of the rapper Future, it's an evil world that we live in.
And he was so nervous. It looked like he was like about to have a panic attack. He was talking really fast. It was him like shaking when he was pouring water.
Now here comes the part where her story becomes more subtle.
And I was like, multiple times during the date, I was like, are you okay? Like, it's okay. It's just a date. Like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like talking, like literally talking like Gilmore Girls. Speed of light.
Now I hope you caught that last part, fellas, because this woman was starting to become more superior over him. But let's continue.
Anyway, the questions are very high level. Like, where are you from? What do you do? Blah, 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 blah. And I already, like, I look at LinkedIn, so I already know what he did.
Oh, hell no!
He also lied about what he did on the date. So then he asked me where I'm from. I'm from Chicago. What do I do? Y'all don't need to know my business. Just know my bills are paid and I do very well for myself.
Let's just make the assumption that she is doing well for herself and making a lot of money from a business of some sort. Let's just assume that for just a moment.
But I didn't tell him that. I just said, oh, I work in marketing and tech. That's it. I didn't tell him what type of tech. I didn't tell him what company. I just said, oh, I work in marketing and tech.
Stop the cap.
I could see on his face that he started to squirm a little bit because I just know different tax brackets.
You're a victim.
So during the date, we go to order food. He wants a Guinness. I want wine. I had not eaten all day, so I was like, I'll just keep it simple. I'll get some wings. Put in the order for food. Then he says, hey, I need to go use the bathroom. No problem. I'm thinking he's going to use the bathroom. He's going to wash his hands, whatever. 2 minutes go by, 3 minutes go by, 5 minutes go by. I'm not even thinking anything of it.
It's not going, you know what I'm saying?
Then the hostess comes, finds me at the table and says, hey, your date left. He told me to tell you he had an emergency and he left.
I will conclude today's edition with another free theoretical thought to wrap up for this week, right after this timeout.
If you were to ask me like a year ago how I feel about dating apps, I'd be like, oh yeah, Hinge is cool. I've met a lot of great guys on Hinge. A lot of Hinge horror stories I can't relate to because honestly, a lot of my best like relationships, short-term relationship flings, whatever, have been through Hinge. But I'm here today to say that I am no longer a part of the Hinge crew and I don't think I'm going back. Nothing terrible has happened, nothing worth a story, but the men that have been liking me on Hinge lately have... It's starting to make me question, who am I? To be getting this type of attention, what am I giving off? What kind of energy am I giving on my profile that is just attracting men who look like they barely snuck onto Earth? Like, you look like you really weren't supposed to be here for real. And yet you got on Earth and you got a buttload of audacity because now you're on Hinge telling me that you want to take me out. You know what I'm saying? It's been all year. I don't know if it's me, if it's Hinge, if it's the men, I don't know. I don't care. But all year, I've just been attracting the most disgusting looking men that I promise to God I've never seen men look this bad before. I'm so serious. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being so serious. I've never seen men this down bad in my messages before. It's never happened. And I had to actually leave because it's starting to make me think, it's changing my mindset to the point where now I'm feeling like there are no attractive men. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I can't afford to have that type of mindset. Because if you believe that there's no attractive men, then you're not going to find one. So I can't let Hinge ruin my perception. And that's what it was starting to do. Like, it was getting to the point where every time I logged onto the app, I almost lost hope in humanity as a whole, and I can't let that happen. So now I guess my future husband, he's gonna have to find me at Kroger or something. I don't know. I go to Kroger like once a week, so maybe he'll be there. Maybe he'll find me on my walking trail. I don't know, but he can't find me on Hinge because your girl is... I'm done. I've been insulted way too many times. I don't belong here anymore. I have to go.
And now, Turnaround's theoretical thoughts. Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is, and this is most definitely my favorite part of the segment. Once again, it is time for today's edition of Turnaround's Theoretical Thought with yours truly, because in just a minute, I'm going to conclude today's edition with another free theoretical thought to wrap up for this week, coming from Raul's Please Act Right YouTube channel about Hinge dating. Here is your theoretical thought for today. Not every date needs to be announced. Not every experience needs to be posted, and not every moment in your dating life deserves an audience. When a woman goes on a Hinge date and immediately runs to social media to air it out, what happened, what he said, what she didn't like, what she did like, she turns a moment of evaluation into public entertainment. Dating stops being about discernment and starts being about validation. Here is the issue. Dating is supposed to be private discovery. It's a space where two people are observing, listening, and learning. But once you invite the internet in, you invite opinions from people who have no responsibility for the outcome. People who won't deal with the consequences. People who won't be there if it works or if it fails. Oversharing too early doesn't show confidence. It shows impatience with the process. Let's also talk about the message it sends to the man. As you saw on today's edition of Turnaround's Theory, a woman can't protect a first date. And if she can't protect the first date, how can she protect a relationship? If everything is up for public discussion, where does the trust fit in? You see, privacy isn't secrecy, it's respect. And real confidence doesn't need commentary. Real maturity doesn't seek applause, and real women don't turn introductions into content. The reality and the truth of the matter is, social media has trained people to perform instead of process, but relationships don't grow in the comments section. They grow in consistency, discretion, and time. Some things need to be preyed on, thought through, and felt, not posted. You see, a woman who values herself moves differently. She understands that mystery is not weakness, silence is not insecurity, and privacy is not outdated. But she does let results speak louder than posts. Because when everything is shared, nothing is sacred. And when nothing is sacred, nothing serious lasts. That's your theoretical thought for today. And that'll do it for another edition of Turnaround's Theory to wrap up for this week for Friday, January the 30th, 2026, right here on YouTube. I will be hosting another special Valentine's Day edition of Turnaround's Theory premiering Saturday, February the 14th at 1 a.m. Eastern, 12 midnight Central Standard Time, only on YouTube and on Facebook. So please be sure to mark your calendars for that. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for watching today's edition of Turnaround's Theory right here on my official YouTube channel. This platform is actually designed to help empower men to make better choices and life-changing decisions when it comes to the dating world. Hey, listen, let me know what you think in the comment sections below concerning today's video. And as a constant daily reminder, let me reiterate to you all once again to please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my official YouTube channel, because it would in fact help out and it would be beneficial for the YouTube algorithm. And please don't forget to smash on that post notification bell, because you, my friends, will instantly be in the loop every single time I post up and upload more additional content onto this channel. For Turnaround's Theory, I'm Mr. Turnaround, aka Tenacious T, aka your theoretical maestro. Once again, I thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you right back here again Monday for another edition of Turnaround's Theory. And until then, Team Turnaround out, and have a safe weekend.